I think at this time I will call the panelists for our next session forward. I see Karen on the side. Julie? Yeah, please come forward. And Maithili? Oh, there, sorry. And is Dixie with us? Do I see Dixie? No. Okay. So we have 3 panelists with us, and please go ahead and make yourselves comfortable. And could I ask someone to assist our panelists with the microphone situation? Great. While they're doing that, let me just give an overview of this panel and introduce our panelists to you. The name of this panel is Navigating for Success. I think Wendy's presentation really started off the day very well. I think she set really some of the overarching principle of the need to really get an understanding of who you are, what motivates you, your strengths, finding your voice, being able to basically develop a sense of what kind of life you want to build for yourself, whether that's your career, your work, as well as your personal and family. And once you've set that goal, the question then is, well, how do you go about getting yourself to reach that goal? How do you navigate to that point? And what we're going to hear from our panelists today is, first off, starting with having them tell us their stories of how they've built their life, why they do what they do, and how they've gotten here today. We will then probably get into a little bit of the basics of some of those instruments of charting your course. We've heard a little bit about networking already today, but we'll drill down into some other areas like the role of mentors and role models. And then hopefully we'll also get a chance to touch on what happens when you hit choppy waters as you're navigating towards your goals, whether it's the economy or, as folks have also alluded to earlier today, some of the cultural barriers, being women of South Asian background, other ethnic backgrounds. We sometimes also have cultural barriers that might come in the way. So that is the focus of the panel. Let me introduce. It's my honor to introduce to you our panelists. On my immediate left is Karen Rohde. Karen is a vice president for human resources here at Sun Microsystems. In this role, she oversees global talent for the company. And is responsible for the development of Sun's talent management strategy. She has an MBA from UC Berkeley, a BS from UC Irvine, is a certified compensation professional, a member of the HR planning, and co-chairs the Talent Management Council of the Conference Board. She's received awards for her involvement in the community, including being a recipient of the Santa Clara YWCA Tribute to Women in Industry Award in 2005. Next to Karen is Julie. Actually, Julie, where's your bio? Julie Brush. And Julie is the co-founder of a company called Solutus Legal Search. And prior to founding Solutus, she actually was a lawyer, a practicing lawyer as well. So I guess she's a recovering lawyer, much like myself. She received her BA from UCLA, where she was also a member of the varsity tennis team and a member of the professional tennis tour. She received her JD from Golden Gate University School of Law, where she served on the law review and worked full-time while attending law school in the evening. And after law school, she practiced real estate law with Brobeck, Fletcher, and Harrison, and also served in an in-house counsel role at Levi Strauss before leaving being an employee and really charting her own course in starting this company. She's on the board of advisors for the Forum for Women Entrepreneurs and Executives and is co-chair for the organization's General Counsel Network. So thank you for joining us, Julie. And finally, we have Maithili Sankaran. Maithili is the CEO of Coolage, a multimedia publishing platform for web-enabled devices. Prior to Coolage, Maithili was an executive at the American Indian Foundation, a leading international development organization focused on India. During her tenure at AIF, she grew their programs, fundraising, and philanthropic giving in corporate partnership initiatives. Maithili has a master's degree in electronics and physics and completed all the requirements for a PhD in electrical engineering? EE, right, okay. a little new to the tech thing, sorry. And she's also completed the executive management program at Wharton through their global leadership program at a prior employer, AT&T. So, and with that, we'll now turn to our and the way that the format for this panel, by the way, is intended to be a bit conversational style. So I will be asking some questions of the panelists to kind of spark a conversation, almost Oprah Winfrey style. A little bit, but there'll be no jumping on couches or anything like that, hopefully. So to start us off, I was wondering if the panelists could basically tell the audience your story. I can't hear you. Oh. Could we have the panelists tell us your story? Okay, thank you. Why do you do what you do? And what basically motivates you to get up in the morning and go to work? Is it just the paycheck?
You want us to start in any particular order, or does it matter?
Order. So if you want to, since you're closest to me, Karen, maybe
start here. It's not just the paycheck, though the paycheck certainly helps. But actually, what gets up and motivates me to work in the morning is really the fact that I think I can make an influence and a difference, and in this particular case, in the company that I work for in terms of Sun Microsystems, but I'm also involved in some community volunteer efforts, and those are things that motivate me as well. So if you look at me in terms of my story, I've been sort of a driven person. I don't know if that's the same as curious, Wendy, or not. But I've always been someone that looks for something that's new, different, that I can learn from, and that's a challenge. I'm not somebody that ever kind of chooses the easy path. And hence, I guess that's why I'm here. But I've, gone through, and as you mentioned, I got my MBA. I went into finance for 9 or 10 years, then did a transition over into different parts of human resources. So I've been a little bit serendipitous in terms of my career and where I've gotten to. And I look at some of these young women, and they are so convinced about what they want to be and what they want to do, and I just keep thinking, oh, I wish I'd been like that when I was their age. But again, I've been opportunistic, and I've been able to make a lot of different changes along the way. But I think the thing that interests me most right now is really about leadership and development of talent, and really making sure that people can come to work every day or come to their lives every day, really being the best that they can be, and how to help people achieve that. So I'm, at personal level, I've been married for almost 23 years. I have 2 daughters, one that's 17 and one that's 15, and a dog, not a cat.
They're very distinct people, cat people and dog people.
Yeah, I think so. I'm definitely a dog person.
Well, what drives me is that I absolutely love what I do. I love every aspect of it, probably with the exception of some administrative stuff and running the business. But I ended up in my career not as a product of setting a specific goal, but mainly as a result of kind of where life took me in a fairly directed way. But I went through, and it was very interesting watching Wendy's presentation, because I went to law school, and I went to law school a little bit late, and decided to do so because of pressure from my parents to have a career, and also because I felt that a graduate degree would give me certain skills and credibility should I decide to do whatever. So for me, I practiced in a big law firm. I was logging in a lot of hours. I was completely miserable. I didn't like what I was doing. And I had an epiphany on my 30th birthday. A friend of mine had gathered all these friends together, and they were having this big party, and I actually couldn't go because I was working. And that was for my 30th birthday. And so it was after that that I realized